Alright guys, Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. We are in Hopkinton, Rhode Island, and as you can see in the background, we got Second Amendment fight for Sanctuary City right here at the Hopkinton Town Hall, which is the mirror image backwards. But again, May 6th of 2019 here in Hopkinton, Rhode Island, and again, we're trying to make history. Hopkinton is looking to become the Second Amendment Sanctuary City in the state of Rhode Island. So let me turn it on here. And here we are, Hopkinton Town Hall, and we got tons of patriots out here, all in support for the Second Amendment Sanctuary. Excuse me, sir. Let's take a look inside here. I guess we got a packed hall here.
I'm taking pictures for this story.
I'll see your pictures, man.
You will? Hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Good to see you.
Just here until she wrapped up.
Oh, yeah.
We got specific unfortunately, watch you. Yeah, they're doing it.
Okay, this is the Town Hall in Hopkinton, Rhode Island. And the meetings are about to get set there. What time is it off?
7.
Okay, we were just, well, the one down there, misconception. So you go there, you do your story. But I'm in South Providence, something happens, and I go, okay, what happened? And everybody says, well, I'm not going to talk to you. But then the only version of anything we get is from the news. So you're sitting there telling us that the opposite thing.
As you can see, there's definitely like well over 100 people here in yellow shirts, just in case the fake news channel 12 likes to spin it around. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I know, it's I'm saying Durham. I'm hoping it's very expeditious.
What are we doing?
Oh, pretty good. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Getting all the attendance case, you know, the fake news channel 12 says
I
only
didn't
60
even
people
notice
show
what
up.
I was scared at.
If I had to stand out here with the air pressure.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm sitting driving up to the state house every other week.
Yes, yeah.
You all see how many people in here?
Yeah, happy Monday.
See, it's a packed hall.
The scientists, they know what's going to happen, and they decided not to make it happen.
So we have to do this because we know the fake news channel 12 will say there's only 5 people that showed up.
Well, that's it. You know, that's why I saw this reporter from Westerly Sun out there. And he used to tell us at school that Chief Carroll never talk to him because if you talk to him, that's considered an interview. Then they wrote it.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yep.
Supposedly they're all set up
It's over 1 acre.
They're letting a lot of the buildings go on wetlands. They're not enforcing. They're losing a lot of wetlands.
This year,
Greenland buildings. bad. Anything over an acre.
It's okay. I'm really yeah.
Oh, well, that's a bad one, yeah.
It was, now it's like probably worth like $200 right? They go depreciation dollars for it. I paid over $1,100 for them. It cost so much for it, like another $2,000. But now it's
Yeah, it's a bad bill.
That's right.
Yeah.
From the Great Patriots here, got State Senator Raimondo, State Representative Justin Price right in front of us here, and we got some other state reps here as well, all to support the Second Amendment here. So hopefully Hopkinton to become the second city in the state of Rhode Island from the Second Amendment sanctuary.
Yeah. No, this is just the people are anti. It's just saying we're not trying to change the laws. We don't want this to be the Wild Wild West. That would be fun, but...
Test one, two, test one, two.
Okay, folks, we're going to start the meeting. I want to take the number 9 item under old business. Mr. President. One second. I'm going to move that up to the very front of the agenda. Under new business, I'm sorry. But before we do that, I want to call the Hopkinton Town Council meeting of May 6th, 2019 to order with a moment of silent meditation and salute to the flag.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Scott, you can be kind enough to...
Mr. President, I make a motion that number 9 and 10 items be moved up to right now so that people can address that.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, number 9 item under new business is to discuss, consider, and possibly vote to approve a resolution declaring Hopkinton a Second Amendment sanctuary town. See attached. Kevin, do you think I should read the whole resolution? Okay. All right. So the resolution should be available for anyone. And I want to start, I guess, with the council. Whoever wants to go first. Scott, how are you?
Okay, I believe the Bill of Rights of the Poli-Sci Major College and back to Council President, I hope you are a social science graduates. And the Second Amendment is not a suggestion, it's a part of an integral right guaranteed to all Americans, just like the freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom of petition, in all these documents. And speaking of the freedom of petition, I hope that we entertain both sides of the solar debate. Those petitions should be discussed for the council, even though they're not technically official, but we should receive them and talk about the contents of them. And I respectfully ask that from the future council attendance. Getting back to the Second Amendment sanctuary town, I think it's appalling that state leaders in this state And we talk about sanctuary cities for legal immigrants who are here illegally, violating the law, and yet the Second Amendment, which is guaranteed by our United States Constitution, permits and guarantees a right to bear arms. And the courts have decided that people have that right. People don't have the right to be here illegally, but they certainly have a right to have guns. And I think the politics played by the political left, the liberals, the progressives, leave much to be desired on this issue. The fact of the matter is, I support the Second Amendment, and I'm going to make the motion to adopt this, or second it. I'm certainly going to vote for it. But I think that, to give you a little bit of my history on this topic, a number of years ago, when I was on the council, there was a request to change the word shall to may issue a gun permit for local chief of police. And we deadlocked. It was 2-2 vote. One of the councilors wasn't present, so it wasn't adopted, that idea. But I believe that we have to take a stand for the Bill of Rights. And we have people who seem to be content giving driver's license to illegal aliens, which they're here illegally. We have state authorities that talk about legalizing marijuana, which is a violation of federal law. We also have a governor, and I understand the governor's going to have a representative, and I'll say it to the governor if I saw her. The bottom line is she was told by the federal government on the UHIP thing it wasn't ready, and she went out and did it herself. We have a degree of arrogance in this state. We have a degree of arrogance against people's rights. And it's about time the town of Hopkinton, which motto is not to be silent nor off our guard. And those of us from Hopkinton particularly should always remember that saying. And I'm going to proudly vote to defend the Second Amendment tonight. Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go next?
I will.
Sylvia, yes.
I think it's important to highlight some of the wording in the resolution. It's on the second page of it. Rhode Island handgun sales already require in-state residency, background checks, an 8-day waiting period, and a blue card, which is the DEM's certification. It's a class that you can take for handgun purchases and prohibits all gun purchases. Now Rhode Island gun laws right now already prohibit gun purchases for the following reasons: on behalf of another person, or for any person under indictment or convicted of a felony or any crime for which a judge could imprison said person for more than a year, or for anyone who is a fugitive from justice, or for any unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic, drug, or any controlled substances, regardless of whether it's been legalized or decriminalized for medical or recreational purposes, or for anyone adjudicated as a mental defective or has been committed to a mental institution, or for anyone who's been discharged from the armed forces dishonorably, for anyone who is subject to a court restraining order for persons from harassing, stalking, or threatening their child or an intimate partner or child of such partner, for anyone who's been convicted in any other court of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, or for anyone who has renounced the United States citizenship, or for anyone who is an illegal alien or unlawfully in the United States. In the last three parts where it says, now therefore it be resolved, that the Hopkinton Town Council, let's see, I'll start again. Now therefore be it resolved by the Hopkinton Town Council that the town of Hopkinton be and hereby is declared to be a Second Amendment sanctuary town. Be it further resolved that the Hopkinton Town Council affirms its support for the Hopkinton Police Department to exercise sound discretion when enforcing laws impacting the rights of citizens under the Second Amendment. Be it further resolved that the Hopkinton Town Council will not appropriate funds for capital construction of any building space and purchase of storage systems to store weapons seized pursuant to the requirements set forth in any legislation if such bill is enacted by the Rhode Island General Assembly, or for the purpose of enforcing any other law that unconstitutionally infringes upon the rights of people in the town of Hopkinton to keep and bear arms. What I wanted to do was, because I've been hearing a lot of different things from residents, so what I did do is I contacted the governor's office, and they sent me a list of bills that they've been, that is actually gone to the Senate. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 bills. And anyone, of course, can look this up, I'm sure. But I want to talk a little bit about growing up in Hopkinton and how important guns played in our lives. And you know, we had a farm, we had farm animals, we had a considerable amount of acreage, but there were times when something might threaten our animals, our farm animals. And I'll give you an instance. I was the one, when I got a little bit older, that I could take the .22 and shoot the woodchucks. And we didn't have too many, but the reason we shot them was because they, of course, created a hole, and then a cow or a horse in a pasture could break their leg. And now we didn't have too many woodchucks, and maybe that's why. But that's just one example of why it's important that people have guns, especially in rural areas. We all know that we've been threatened by a number of animals, and if you see an animal, no matter what the laws are, if you see some animal that's threatening, maybe it's because they have rabies, and your child's outside, what do you think might happen? Well, obviously there's going to be a call to the police department, but somebody may need to take action on their own. And it has happened. When you have, over the years, I think if there's anyone here who's grown up in town or been here long enough, you know there were instances when you knew of a family or knew of even, maybe it was your own relatives or neighbors or someone in the community that there was something going on. People were aware, but it was a small town. We had, you know, about half the population we do now. And you knew, I knew, growing up, that if there was a law in the books that wouldn't allow someone who was threatening or has a mental defect of some sort, it would have been nice if we had laws in the books that could take guns away from someone who does have a mental illness. And that's what the red flag law is about. And that's on the books, and I support that. And the calls that I've gotten, I've heard people who want us to pass this tonight, but do agree that the red flag law was the right thing to do. So in 1994, for defense, I decided that I needed to get some guns in the house, and I bought, I think it was 94, it could have been 93, but I went through DEM and got my permit. Excuse me, I don't need permit to carry. I was allowed to purchase guns, and I was able to get a 9mm semi-automatic and a 20-gauge shotgun. I didn't think I needed the 10. But those are guns that I bought that I still have and I intend to keep. And so I think it's important that some of these laws do mean, and I don't mean these necessarily, but when there are laws that are passed, like the red flag law, the police department's going to enforce it. And I wouldn't want our police department to not enforce any laws that they swear an oath. We all swear an oath. And you swear your oath to follow the laws. So this is not an issue of us against the police department. I think it'd be nice if some people are are really opposed to this. Some people are all in favor of it. This is a resolution. Obviously, the police department is going to do whatever they are required to do under the law. So I don't have a problem with this resolution as it's written. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally.
I'm an Army brat. I was born and raised in the Army, and I've been around military for most of my life. And I believe in hunters' rights and sportsmen's rights, and I believe in the rights to carry guns for all law-abiding citizens. I have no problems with that. When I read this resolution, the two first resolutions I agree with. The third resolution I do not. And I think that this is a document that needs calm consideration, that needs discussion, because no one is taking anything away from anyone at present. There is no pending legislation taking guns away from law-abiding citizens. These pieces of legislation are in committee. They're not out in the open. They're not brought forward. Both the Senate and the House have put them in committee, which is one way of squashing them, because some of them are ridiculous, and I quite agree with many of them on that issue. However, I find that this resolution is totally unenforceable. We cannot instruct, as a town council in a small town of Rhode Island, we can't instruct the police or the military to disobey state or federal laws. A town council cannot pick and choose. I realize the state may pick and choose, but we cannot. There is an all or nothing proposal here. It's everything or nothing, which means there's no discussion. And when there's no discussion, it means everything's on the table. It has no intrinsic value. It can't be enforced. It can't be used. It can't be discussed, because it's everything. We all love it or we all hate it. That's not the way the country works. And as you go across the country, not just in Hopkinton, but all the way to Alaska, California, or Texas, everybody thinks differently. Everybody has guns for different reasons, and they should, and I have no issues with that. But this kind of resolution has no intrinsic value, is totally unenforceable, and it makes it an us versus them, and it's not. It's just not.
Thanks, Bob. Sharon.
When I went out and canvassed in both years, I've met people who asked me what was my opinion about gun control, and I said that I think people have the right to own a gun, but I think that we should make some adjustments for what's been happening. And some of these bills that talk about having assault weapons and multiple capacity, that is what you've seen when you had people do these massacres around the country. And I would not be for that. So if, as Barbara said, if the Second Amendment resolution says all or nothing, then I have to say no.
All right. I am in support of the Second Amendment resolution. I firmly believe in that right in the Constitution. I think that the state legislature and the governor continue to want to play around with what they feel is our rights and what is not our rights. And I am not going to, I don't trust them with my money, let alone to handle the safety of our residents. So I just don't. And I have a lot of guns, and I have a concealed carry permit, and I want to be able to carry where it's lawful to carry. And the law-abiding gun owner is not the problem here. It's bad people with guns, and I'm not sure any law is going to prevent that from happening. So I have friends, neighbors, colleagues, supporters of mine over the last 10 years that are avid hunters and sportsmen, and I promised them, as I promised myself, that if anything like this ever came up, that I would certainly support it, and I will. Anyway, that's that.
The council president put this on the agenda, and I know Senator Morgan has contacted a member of the town in the 30-plus metropolitan district about this. The point is that no Bill of Rights is absolute. Like, you cannot shout out fire under the freedom of speech in a crowded theater. And I believe, and somebody can correct me, I believe in the 1930s they outlawed machine guns, unless you had, like, I guess, a permit or license to do that. There has been gun control laws per se, but what we're doing is taking a stand for the Second Amendment. And you know, this thing with the state is really a lot of baloney, because if state government can blow up a federal law about marijuana, whether or not you think it can be legalized or not, is not the point. It's still against federal law. They're talking about legalizing that. You have licenses for legal aliens, and they hear it legally, and every day they hear they're violating federal law. So, I mean, we're going to pick and choose. Are we cafeteria style followers of the Bill of Rights? Say, well, I like this one, but I don't like that one. Well, the Bill of Rights is for everybody, every darn one of them. In the Constitution of the United States, and I expect the governor, you know, her aide is here, I'm sure she'll read about it, start towing the line and respect federal law. And also, when the federal government, like in the UHIP situation, said we're not ready, we don't have a disaster, because she's the fault we had a disaster on UHIP. And she hurt a lot of lower income people, this, you know, the governor of this state. So she shouldn't be lecturing anybody. She shouldn't be lecturing Hopkinton or any other town. And I hope she gets a clue. Thank you.
Okay, the council has spoken. I got, I guess, a few minutes for anyone that wishes to kind of weigh in on this this Second Amendment.
Could we hear from the chief too?
This is a town council referendum. I'm not going to comment on either side of this. I think that's appropriate.
Thanks.
Good choice.
Good answer. We can do a couple minutes for or against, I guess, if anybody wishes to. Otherwise, yeah, we'll start with my neighbor, Ben LaFazia, that he's really the one that was Senator Morgan that got me to get this on the agenda. He was kind enough to be pleasantly persistent in his efforts, and I applaud you for that. Ben, just a few words, please.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
State your address, please.
So my name is Ben LaFazia. I live at 131 Skunk Hill Road, Hope Valley, Rhode Island. And my wife and I, we both fully support this. I brought a few words with me today, but you guys kind of went over all of it. So really the last thing I just wanted to say was our town was named after Stephen Hopkins, one of the original signers of the Declaration of Independence. Our town seal has 3 firearms in it, and our town slogan is not to be silenced nor off our guard. So this town is built around the Second Amendment. So thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Ben.
Stories and a couple of things that somebody's pointed out. Okay. I bought my first assault rifle, so-called assault rifle, right after 9/11, when I sat at the Hopkinton Crandall House, and I brought a TV into the elderly, and we all watched the towers go down together. And I realized that my kids were at school, and everybody was at work, and my cell phone. And I realized that my country couldn't protect me, that it was up to me to protect myself and to find a way to get to my children so I could protect them. Okay? These guys over here, the Hopkins police, good guys, they do a great job, but they're not Superman. None of us are. Okay? Barbara mentioned the 30 round, you know, the capacity. You know, I bet you, Barbara, if you went on YouTube and you watched the LA riots, you would see gentlemen during the
The riots in LA years ago that were protecting their homes and their stores, etc., with high-capacity magazines on their firearms against huge crowds that they probably didn't have enough ammo to protect themselves from. So there are reasons why we would have those things. Scott, Bill, you mentioned about fully automatic weapons and military-style weapons. They're not outlawed. Civilians can't own them. They must get a license and a permit. It's unconstitutional to outlaw them. So we find ways around the laws. We make licenses and permits. So guys like the elitist, you know, maybe the new colonel of Rhode Island State Police, maybe he's got a fully automatic weapon. But John LaBrosse and most of the people in here don't. Barbara, you mentioned something about the Third Amendment of the draft. What was it you didn't like about it?
The third resolution on capital construction, mandated capital construction. I have no control over that. I have no control over any of this resolution. The town council has no control. This is unenforceable, which is why I'm saying it's a piece of paper that makes you feel good, but it has no intrinsic value other than making you feel good. And I have no idea what you're going to do. I think it makes more sense to go to the committees and talk about these things that are in committee, not out in the open, and explain why they don't make sense. And some of them don't make any sense at all. And I'm not saying that you can't have guns or that things don't happen and you need them. I'm just saying this resolution is a feel-good resolution. It has no intrinsic value. It doesn't do anything except make you feel like you've done something. And it hasn't. It's unenforceable. I can't tell my police to not follow state or federal law.
I would disagree with you. Well, what you can do is if we as a society don't want these laws enforced, then we don't employ police officers to enforce that law. And I don't mean that's the wrong way, and I'm not saying to let these guys go. I'm just saying that you do have some say. You control their budgets, okay? So you do have a say in how things are. I understand that this, Chief Palmer and them have to enforce the laws. The laws that you're sworn to under your oath of office, and the laws that these guys are the Constitution of the United States of America. That's it. Okay? There's plenty of laws that are written on the books that go to the Supreme Court and are found unconstitutional and therefore null and void. So there are things that we can do to circumvent. This is just a step in the right direction. You're talking to a guy that has to go up to the State House 5-6 times a year, okay, and go against these ridiculous gun laws. Sylvia, you mentioned red flag bill. Okay, I'm going to tell everybody in this room. I was in the State House when the red flag bill came to the floor. I watched my state rep, okay, not a lady, the lady did her job. I watched my state rep get up just before the vote was taken and leave the room and come back after, okay? Why is that? Because he has a high rating with the NRA, that's why. So for him not to vote no, kept his rating up. To be absent from the ballot, kept his rating up. It's very deceiving, very deceptive, and really ticked me off. The red flag bill, well, I agree, there are people out there that, I got a brother in my family, I don't believe should own a firearm, okay? But there are plenty of us that aren't those people, that we're not the lunatics. The red flag bill takes the due process out of it. A lot of people don't know that red flag is a feel-good bill, just like you just said. It takes due process out. All somebody has to do is call and say, I feel threatened for my life, and convince a judge. There's no trial. There's nothing. Okay? The cops are ordered to go to your house, confiscate your guns, and you lose them for 6 years. With no trial, no due process. That's where I have a problem with the red flag bill. It's not that, it's a feel-good bill, and it gives the upper echelon power over regular people. You lose your 14th Amendment right, illegal search and seizure, because some judge signed a waiver saying, go take his guns. That's search and seizure. Okay, so there's a lot more to it than just, it's not that simple. Okay, and as somebody that abides by the law, okay, I talked about my mother earlier. My mother was 79 years old. I never was allowed to have a firearm in my house my entire life until I turned 18, when Sylvia's brother took me to Reggie Kenyon's over here in Ashway to buy my first .22, and her father taught me how to shoot it. okay? I wasn't allowed a firearm in my house. At 79 years old, when my mother watched my family shooting firearms, that she finally decided that she was going to give it a try. And my mother sat there at 79 years old. I got pictures, I can show you all right now. And she learned all about firearms. First, we taught her how to tear them apart, clean them, okay, how to respect them, and how to shoot them, in which she then joined the shooting league. And for 2 years, shot once a week with my wife and my daughter, shooting. So, you know, and my mother was afraid of it. So a lot of times we're afraid of guns. Well, we're afraid of cars doing 60 miles an hour while we're working on our roads too. Okay? But you don't see people, you know, people in this room don't slow down when they come to a construction site. I don't mean to insult anybody. It's just people take things for granted. This is our right. You know, recently I heard on the radio where this lady was getting attacked because she said there shouldn't be any tax on firearms. And the news guy said, well, you know, they're tangibles. And she, you know, he said, so therefore they should be taxed. Okay? You know there was a time in this country where all men were required to have a firearm for this country's defense?
Well, of course, and the Second Amendment was written when we had no militia, no police, no army, navy, or anything.
But so wasn't the
expected. The town was expected to hold people together and give them guns and send them off. This is all fine. There is no lack of respect for Hopkinton and the gun owners in this town. You have all been absolutely wonderful. There are no complaints about any of it, nor do I think that you should be. But there is a feel-good. This is feel-good because there's nothing you can do with it. Your red flag law is not a feel-good. It's not a law. This is not a law. And I can't do anything with this piece of paper. I can't make Chief Palmer do one thing or another. I know you're trying to make a statement, then make a statement.
We are.
I know, but it's one of those where civilly we are not always going to agree. You're not going to agree with me on this, that's fine. I don't take your right away from saying I want it anyway. I don't take their votes away from saying I want it.
Barbara, it's not you I'm afraid of. It's up at the State House, okay? That's who I'm afraid of.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of you. The governor recently talked about her unbiased panel, okay, to do the research on firearms in schools. She quotes that she had an NRA member that was on that panel. Do you know who that NRA member is? Does anybody ever know him?
Zero.
Please. The Colonel of Rhode Island State Police was her NRA member and her unbiased person. He's the same guy that stood in front of the lane and the House of Representatives and tore apart a so-called assault rifle. Okay? After the first time I watched him testify, he retired as a major. Okay? Isn't it funny? The governor called him back and promoted him to colonel after that one. Okay? And now he goes on live radio and TV and says he's there at the State House on the abortion day. Representing Governor Raimondo. Well, is that what he's doing with the Second Amendment?
Hey, John.
I have nothing to do with this. This is becoming personal.
Let's agree to disagree, I guess, Barbara and John, but, you know, thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Mr. President, I'd like to recognize Senator Lane Morgan, who's with us tonight, Representative Justin Price, and Representative Logan P. Hopkins. And I do point the representative that walked, Brian Patrick Kennedy, who's represented us since the late 1980s, is the one that walked so we could have a good NRA rating. And if you have courage, you don't duck from the blows. Thank you.
Just a few words, Elaine.
It's quick. I want to thank you all for bringing this forth. I brought it forth because I had a lot of calls from residents asking me to actually bring this forth to you, to the 5 towns I represent. So we are not trying to change any laws. We want to just enforce the laws that are on the books. And what I see going on up at the General Assembly is not good. There are laws, there are bills up there, and we don't know what's going to happen. And our governor, she asks us to lobby. We're up there in full force. We have 200 to 1 advocates for our Second Amendment, and if she doesn't see them, it's a sea of yellow up there. This is what I'm afraid of. And all I want to see is the books followed, the law followed. It's our right, that should not be infringed upon. And I took an oath to protect our Constitution, our amendments, our Bill of Rights, and that's why I'm stepping forward. And thank you for taking me.
Sorry, I missed you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Dalton. I live at 6 Soaphouse Lane in Hope Valley, Rhode Island. And I'm very interested in the laws being followed as well. And in that vein, the Second Amendment does protect rights for legal gun ownership. But in that vein, I have to support what Barbara Capalbo has said, that this is a resolution, it is not a law, it has no power, and it will only lead to confusion in terms of the residents and in terms of perhaps the enforcement of these laws by our local police, in wondering, what the views of the town are. Are they in opposition to the laws? So I would encourage the town council to vote no.
My name is Thomas Padula, 147 Woodville Alton Road. If you want to talk about feel-good laws, Rhode Island General Law 114760 says that if you are eligible to meet the requirements of Rhode Island General Law, these are laws, 114711, you can carry a handgun on school property, elementary and secondary schools. That's a law. It says you can do that. Gina Raimondo, to make a feel-good law, made her, I don't know, not resolution, but her executive order that you can't, there'll be no guns in the schools. I need to ask the chief, if someone with a concealed carry permit is on a school property, will you arrest them?
Well, it all depends on what the law said.
Yeah.
If it says
She didn't make a law. She can't, I don't know.
Well, let's
not get into that. If she can make laws. She can make laws. But she decided she would just bypass those Rhode Island general laws and make her own.
I think she had asked the superintendent of education to enforce that. And
yeah. And
bypassing the general
that's a confusing aspect as well. And because there is laws and that.
I'm not saying that anybody's taking guns away or anything, but all you have to do is look at the news every day. Venezuela, the government took them away, and the people are throwing stones, and the government's shooting firearms. And one of the news reporters said, well, usually the side with the firearms wins. So, and another feel-good, this has nothing to do with this resolution. Red LEDs, I guess the chief's gonna have to go arrest Pete's Grocery because they got a lottery sign that's red LEDs. Did we say you can't have red LEDs? Half the cars driving through town have red LEDs. They probably have red LEDs on their car. So let's not talk about feel-good laws. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Donahue from 1 Juniper Drive in Ashway. Just for a quick on me, I'm a combat Vietnam veteran. The government gave me an automatic M16 to go kill, and I did. Now you're trying to take out my gun rights, and Robert, you said that has no value. It does. It's telling the state that the town of Hopkinton is backing this resolution, the laws. Backing our Constitution. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question.
thank Justin Price, that representative for the town, the great town of Hopkinton, Richmond, and Exeter. But I agree. This is a resolution. Resolutions are certainly powerful. They demonstrate support from towns, and if the towns throughout the state have similar resolutions, it makes it even more powerful. So statements that have been made that seek to make it so that the resolution wouldn't have any merit at the state level, I think I would disagree with that, and I certainly would approve of supporting this resolution at the town level and throughout the towns throughout the state.
Hi guys, thanks for having us tonight. Glad you all came out and are listening to our point of view, but I want to get to this feel-good notion.
Can you state your name and address?
My name is Sean Ross Jr. Listen to my father. I won't be as long as him, I promise.
I'm looking taller than your dad.
And it's because I have a hat on. It's actually 6'1", I'm like just on the border. But anyways, I want to get back to this point of this feel-good notion. And I think that's a big reason why we're all here, is because you guys as our council are our first line of representatives going forward from this town. So we want to feel good that you guys have our best intentions, which the Second Amendment, which says shall not be infringed, and many of us are in very much support, love. We grew up on it, learned firearm safety as a young kid. We're very smart. I've been all throughout the country. I went to college in Ohio. I was like 2 hours south of Detroit. I had friends from Detroit that lost friends, multiple friends in the time that I knew them. They told me I could not go back to their community, and it was a gun-free zone. I lived in South Carolina, where you can freely carry. For the most part, in your glove compartment, it's easier to get a concealed carry. Those people out there, they need it because there's a lot of crime that happens, and the ordinary person needs to defend themselves because the drug problem in this country is rampant. And I just think that for you guys going forward, you want to make us feel good, represent us with integrity and back our Constitution, because that's what we're looking for. And if you guys would like to continue to be on the town council, that you take heed to our requests.
Good evening. Hi, James Geary, 16 Tomahawk Road, Bradford. Mr. President, members of the Town Council, I urge you to pass this resolution. I would much rather have you five make a decision for us than somebody who picks and chooses on what they think is best for me. I feel confident with you five, you can make the best decision. Mr. President, members of the Council, Town, thank you.
Thanks. Okay. If there's no other words, I think we can accept entertainment. Oh, I'm sorry.
I would like to say something. Hi, I'm Tammy King Walsh. I live at 229 Woodville Road in Hopkinton. First I just want to say I am a gun owner. I've been around guns since I've been a little kid. And I absolutely support people's right to own guns. That said, I have to say, I agree with Barbara, that having a resolution that calls us a sanctuary town means absolutely nothing. And I think that if you want to do anything, pass a resolution that just says we support our Second Amendment rights. That gets the politics out of it. It doesn't pit people on both sides of the issue against each other. We have enough of that going on in this town. And I just absolutely ridiculous that we were thinking about this.
Thanks. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Thank you, and I'm not a resident of Hopkinton, I'm a resident of Rhode Island, but all due respect, man, when you talk about resolution feel good, well, if you know the history of Rhode Island, when the British were imposing gun laws, strict gun laws, forced state religion, taxation around representation, Rhode Island created a resolution saying this is a safe haven from the tyrants. So where did that resolution turn out? To the greatest document known to man is the Constitution for the United States of America. Now you may say this is just a resolution, but this is to send a signal, message to the tyrant, and I'm using the best words I can for her, the tyrant at the State House, to let her know, the tyrant at the State House to let her know, no matter what law she passes, and this is, I understand we've got to follow the laws, the office has got to follow the laws yet, but the law of the land is the Constitution. She could say we want all, she could pass a law tomorrow and say we want all guns, no matter what, banned. That's unconstitutional, thus becoming null and void. That's what the Constitution clearly states, and it is up delegated to we the people to overthrow such guards if we have to enforce that. So we're asking each town here in the state of Rhode Island, here again in the great city of Hopkinton, especially being named after one of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. I mean, that would be a smack in the face to tell him, say, listen, these guys suffered great debts after they signed that. I don't know if people know what happened to these guys after. They suffered great debts, lost houses, their families, and everything else, and they risked everything to have what we have today. And meanwhile, we got a person at the State House, many people at the State House, on the state level, who are seeking to destroy everything. This man, you, everybody here, especially serving in the military, man, we thank you for your service, and everybody here stands for them. So we need to enforce that. Say, hey, listen, if you push unconstitutional laws, we're not going to abide by them. We're going to abide by the law, the Constitution, not your law, which is tyrannical. You know what I mean? So it's not a feel-good thing. A resolution created the Declaration of Independence. A resolution created the Constitution for the United States of America. So it's not just a feel-good thing, because again, if you look through not just around but U.S. history, resolutions created the greatest document on the history of the planet, the Constitution for the United States of America and the Rhode Island State Constitution. Thank you, and I hope and pray that you guys do the right thing. Not, it's not a political thing, right versus left. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with we the people. That's what it's to do with. And God bless you all. Thank you, and I hope you guys vote for it.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Madam President. Mr. President, I make a motion that the Hopkinton Town Council adopt this resolution on the Second Amendment.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further council discussion?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
First of all, a resolution is strictly that. It's a resolution. Most resolutions have no force of law. It's not like an ordinance. Unless we adopt a resolution about taxes at, the financial town assembly or at a vote. But the bottom line is it's a statement. And I proudly vote for it. And but the more important thing to recognize is hypocrisy in politics and government. And people seem to be interested in the Constitution when it suits their benefit, and they're not interested in the Constitution when it does not. And I hold the governor and certainly members of the General Assembly, present company excluded, many of the legislators. That's the problem. We like to pick and choose in the ones that hold office a lot of times, or the political activists. But the Bill of Rights is a fundamental part of our Constitution. I will also like to point out, for historical clarification, being a historical junkie I am, Rhode Island didn't vote on we didn't have people at the Constitution Convention. Rhode Island, look at the signage that was done from Rhode Island. We had two from the Declaration of Independence. One was Stephen Hopkins, who this town was named for. And interestingly, the state of Rhode Island only adopted the United States Constitution by 2 votes. It was that close in Rhode Island. Rhode Island is very big on rights and things like that. That's the Rhode Island deal. And I would hope that our governor and some of the people in the General Assembly start realizing that, including
some of our municipal officials and some of the other communities to really reflect on that, because we have a lot to learn from the past and what words mean. With that, I'm not going to take any more time. I'm really looking forward to voting for this and making a statement. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion made, seconded, no further council discussion. Yes,
I still want to say that I am appalled about the massacres that have happened in our country, and I think that we should do something. And I don't think that banning assault weapons and multiple magazines, I don't think that is too much to ask. I still believe it. Thank you.
All right. So motion made and seconded. Any further council discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah!
Recess, just so folks can clear out if they need to. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you.
If I got a little too loud, I can
Wise thing to do that first. It was wise to do it. Yes,
You don't have
It's John Hopkinton, Stephen Hopkins. Stephen Hopkins, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence right there. See that? He was a governor from 1707 to 1785. Governor Stephen Hopkins, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and his liberty, his sacrifice, because he lost his family, lost his life for signing the Declaration of Independence, and the carry-a-thon today in the town of Hopkinton, Rhode Island, that they finally passed a resolution. It's not a feel-good resolution. It's a resolution to tell the state you're not going to push no tyrannical gun laws here in Hopkinton, Rhode Island. And again, this man here sacrificed so much when he signed the Declaration of Independence. So we're going to go outside and see everybody. What's that? Yeah.
It's sending a message to people.
Yeah! Woo!
Dan, speech, Dan, speech.
Speech,
Dan.
2 towns ago, the rest of the state to come. Lane, thank you so much.
Hey, I thought you were going to go turn over that table up there.
Great job, Dan.
Thank you. Awesome work, man. This is State Rep Justin Price. You know, one of the new founding fathers. I mean, I have to say, you and Elaine here, and doing a lot of good work for the state, man. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everything you did.
Awesome.
You do also.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're moving forward.
Yeah. What district do you represent again?
Just 39, Exeter, Richmond, Hopkinton.
Yep. Awesome. So vote for Justin Price in the re-election here. Awesome, man.
Are you one of the reps?
Yes, I am. My name's Joe Morrell. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
What was the vote? 3-2. Yeah.
One more is all we need.
Yep.
Nice.
The other one was on Got that right, brother. This is awesome. You too.
I got banned from Facebook because of this.
Mrs. Morgan, a quick word. This is State Senator Elaine Morgan. And thank you so much for what you've done. And she's one of the new founder fathers here in Rhode Island.
Thank you, Dan. This is the second town, and we're going for all. So
yeah, awesome. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank
What town you represent?
I represent Hopkinton, Richmond, Exeter, a part of Charlestown, and a part of West Greenwich.
Awesome. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you for being here.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, wait, over there. Yep. You can't get back
Yeah, woo! Woo! Awesome, man.
We did it.
Hell yeah.
Awesome job. Yeah, well, I guess I can't get on Facebook to look at anything. Thanks for coming.
Hey, picture, man. 2 down, more to go, man.
2 down, more to go.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Jennifer Moffett. She's a former state rep candidate.
Yes,
Senator candidate.
Yeah.
And you got to be running again, right?
We'll see.
Come on, you can do it.
See, yeah.
We need you.
I'll try.
Yeah, thank you for coming out and 3-2 decision. Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, it's good.
Even though she says it's just a feel-good bill, a resolution created the Constitution.
Yeah,
you know?
but we're letting her know how we all feel.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
what this is all about. Our First Amendment
Yep.
rights are giving her, letting her know exactly how everybody feels.
Exactly.
That's what she asked for last week,
Yep.
and that's what she's going to get.
Yep. Resistance is victory.
Yep.
Awesome job.
Yeah.
Get us.
Glad to get on video.
Yeah, let me get a picture. I got some others already.
You want me to everything? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Elaine. Okay, this is Dan Bidondi from Hopkinton, Rhode Island. And again, the resolution just passed 3-2 to become the second Amendment sanctuary city in the state of Rhode Island. And resistance is victory, and you're seeing it right here. We're sending a direct message to our tyrant governor, Gina Raimondo, the new King George, I call her. We're sending a direct message to her: you're not taking crap. You know, plain and simple. You're gonna have to battle thousands and thousands of Rhode Islanders first. This is Dan Bidondi. Remember, you are the resistance. God bless. How do you feel, man?
Very good, Dan.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, good victory, man.
Yeah, good speech.
So, what do we got coming up Wednesday? If you want to tell people.
I think it's West Greenwich, right?
West Greenwich?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think tomorrow's Richmond.
Richmond?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make them all, but...
Oh, absolutely. Same here.
Yeah. Take care.
You too, Dan.
Thank you, man. Me, actually, Yeah. Some of that information about tomorrow before we go here. The information tomorrow is what's the next one?
Tomorrow's Richmond, but they're not trying to do a big turnout like this.
Yeah.
You know, kind of on the DL. The next one's going to be Wednesday, West Greenwich, is 7 o'clock at the school.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be at the school. They just changed it because they expect such a big turnout.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. How do you feel? Second town. This is great.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this is all for something. You know,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we, did this. We all came together. We all showed up, and making history.
It's great because founding fathers, especially Stephen Hopkins,
Yep.
he lost his life to sign that
And we
declaration.
need to honor that by,
Yep.
continuing this
Exactly.
movement and trying to get the whole state to do it.
Exactly.
I think it'll be awesome.
And when they rewrite the history book someday, everybody's names are going to be in that book, man. I
hope
tell you.
so.
God bless you guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. And there's t-shirts here, folks. $15 a piece. You get them at the rallies. Great t-shirts. I got one on myself.
That's what.
We the people, Second Amendment sanctuary. Awesome. So $15, and it's We the People of Rhode Island, Second Amendment Sanctuary. Go on to Facebook here and check them out. Order the pages, and I'm going to order the shirts and everything else. And this is great. The Sea of Yellows conquering Rhode Island. All right, guys, I'm going to cut out here. Dan Bidondi, May 6, 2019. We have made history once again. Hopkinton, Rhode Island, become the Second Amendment Sanctuary city in the state of Rhode Island. One more victory to go, hopefully, one step at a time, and ultimately the entire state. Dan Bidondi, God bless. Resistance is victory. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com.